Hello all, welcome to today's session. In today's session, we are going to go through how you can file your income tax return using ClearTax portal. My name is C.H. Kotroy and I have been part of Clear for last 4.5 years. Presently, I handle the internal tax team. And in today's webinar, we are going to see how you can file your income tax return within a matter of minutes. Right. So I hope you already have received the link for every partner page. Now, once you go to the partner page, the microsite, you will be taken to this particular page wherein you can start your income tax return filing journey. Right. So before you start the journey, there are a couple of steps you need to do. That is, firstly, pre-filling the data as per the income tax portal. Now, pre-filling the data income tax portal will make your journey a lot simple and a lot quick. Now, you can pre-fill your data from the income tax portal in two ways. Number one, you can simply generate income tax OTP, or you can generate Aadhaar OTP to pre-fill the data. Now, to pre-fill the data, you will be required to input your date of birth and your PAN number. Now, after inputting the details, you can generate either via income tax department OTP or Aadhaar OTP. Now, if you are choosing to generate income tax OTP, in that case, you will be getting two OTPs. One will be coming to your registered mobile number, another will be coming to your registered email address. Now, both these OTPs are different and you need to put both the OTPs to proceed ahead. However, if you are choosing to do Aadhaar OTP, then only you will be getting one single OTP, and from that OTP, it will be fetching whatever the details that is available to you in the income tax portal. Now, after you input the data and pre-fill is complete, you will be taken to a window wherein all the result of the pre-filling will be replicated in front of you. It will be shown to you, right? You can see that your name, your basic details, everything is replicated over here. Not only that, your salary details, snippets of your basic details, right? Like your address, your Aadhaar number, etc. It will be replicated over here. Not only that, your bank details, it will be replicated. Now, these details will be picked as per the last year's income tax return, right? Not only that, it will show what is the result of pre-filling, which is happening in your salary. Right, it will show what is the amount of salary you are getting, what is the deduction, how much tax they have deducted, your employer has deducted, the TAN number, etc. So those small details, or other small but impactful or important details, it will be replicated over here. However, you still have the option to upload the form 16, and you still have the option to proceed ahead. Not only that, there are quite a few boxes which are completely editable, because there are some details that might change from last year's filing. So in this portal, you will be able to change the details as per your requirement, right? Now, since we can go ahead with uploading the form 16, you can simply upload the form 16 over here. So you can just navigate and upload the form 16. After uploading the form 16, your actual journey for filing, it will be starting. Now, it will be starting from the basic details, collection of basic details. Again, if you are doing the pre-filling, all the basic details will be filled as per the last year's filing. However, if there are certain changes, for example, if your mobile number is changing, if your email address is changing, if you are no longer wishing to use the same bank account as last year, so those details you can completely edit. Your address might change as well. right? So you are no longer staying in that particular house wherein you were staying last year. It is quite possible. So all these details can be changed over here in this particular page, right? So bank details, your residential status, everything that can change. Now residential status, that plays a very crucial role in income tax return filing. Now because depending on the residential status, only your Indian income or your global income will be taxable. If you are a tax resident of India, in that case normally the global income becomes taxable in your hand. If you are a non-resident, in that case only India sourced income is taxed in your hand. Now, their residential status actually depends on number of days stay that you are having in the financial year 22-23. Normally, if you are staying in India for a period in excess of 182 days, you will become a tax resident of India. In case you are going out of India for employment purposes and your days stay is less than 182 days in India, then you will most definitely becoming a non-tax resident of India. However, the situation might change if you are coming back to India, right? So you need to be looking at that. Now, moving on. After inputting those details, you will be taken to the page wherein your salary details will need to be filled up in this particular portal, right? Salary details means your name of the employer, your salary details, the breakup of your salary, whether it is a basic salary, HRA component, etc., etc. Your TAN details of the employer, your how much tax they have deducted, all those small things need to be reported over here. Now, if you have uploaded the form 16 and part A and part B, those details will be updated from part A and part B of the form 16. Now, again, you will be able to see from the form 16 itself, the software will be taking up, it will be picking up the HRA component or LTA component, whatever the deduction that is available for you, right? So there should not be any problem. However, there is a situation wherein you are you have not submitted the proof for the year. Therefore, the claim of HRA that you have declared at the beginning of the year got rejected. Or there might be a situation wherein you have selected the new tax regime at the beginning of the year, but you are looking to switch to old tax regime at the time of filing your income tax return. So you can easily import these details, the deduction details or exemption details over here. Now, one of the most popular deduction in terms of deduction from salary is house rent allowance or HRA. Now, again, you can claim the HRA over here. Now, there is one thing I would like to mention, that the entire amount of rent that you are paying is not considered as HRA deduction. There is a calculation that goes on to determining the HRA. The HRA amount is based on the deduction part of HRA is based on comparison between three items, three figures. The first figure is the actual HRA component of your salary. The second part is 40% of the basic of the salary. And the third part is rent paid, whatever rent that you have paid minus 10% of the basic. Now, this 40% of the basic will be changed to 50% if you are staying in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata or Chennai for your employment purposes and have taken a place on rent. Now, out of these three figures, right, that is actual HRA amount, 40 or 50% of the HRA amount, basic amount, and whatever the amount of rent you have paid minus 10% of the basic, out of these three, whichever is the lesser will be given to you as HRA deduction. It is recommended that you do the HRA calculation month by month basis, because during the year, there is a very good chance you have received a pay hike, right? So because of the pay hike, your amount of HRA might change. Not only that, you can renew your rental agreement as well, and sometimes more often than not, the rental agreement actually increases your amount, right? So depending on all these things, you will be able to claim the HRA component. Now, after doing this, after doing this, you will be taken to the income page, wherein it will show what is the income that you are having from salary. Not only that, if you have any other sources of income like interest income from savings bank or fixed deposit or income tax refund, if you have some dividend coming from the Indian listed companies or mutual fund units, though those details will be replicated over here in the other income segment, right? So you can simply expand that and report the incomes. Not only that, if you have any income or losses coming from the self-occupied house property, that can also be reported. Now, if you have a self-occupied house property and for which you have taken a home loan, a self-occupied property in this case means a house where you are staying, your parents are staying, because you could not occupy the house property because your employment is somewhere else. Now, in this situation, this house property can be treated as self-occupied house property. Now, if you have taken a loan to purchase this property, a flat or house, whatever it may be, that will be treated as loss from this house property, and for self-occupied house property, maximum 2 lakh rupees of interest can be claimed as loss from the house property. So over here, you can simply expand and you can declare the loss from the house property. If you have a self-occupied house property, you can declare, or rather you need to declare as self-occupied house property. If it is a let-out house property or rental house property, you can simply declare as a rental property, and if it is a deemed let out property, then you can declare as deemed let out property. Now, from last year onwards, if you have two house property, then you need not declare the second house property as deemed let out property. There has been change in the law wherein it is now allowed you can hold two house properties without declaring any of them as deemed let out house property. However, if you are having three house properties, you can claim two house properties as self-occupied house property, and remaining one need to be declared as deemed let out property. So this is how you can tackle the income part or interest part of the house property, right? So this is how you can report the house property interest and other sources of income. Now, one of the major thing that actually bothers us is capital gains. Now, capital gains happens whenever you are selling off stocks or mutual fund units that you are holding during the year, right? During the year 2022-23. Now, to report that capital gain, you can simply click the portion under capital gains and report it, right? So at ClearTax, we are supporting multiple brokers so that you can upload the statement of the broker. You can download the broker statement from their respective portal and upload it. You can upload the portal one by one. There is no problem. If, however, the broker statement is not broker statement is not supported in ClearTax portal, what you can easily do is in ClearTax they have a template, right? An Excel template. You can replicate the details over there in Excel template. Make sure you are pasting all the figures as values and upload that statement, right? Upload that ClearTax template so that the capital gains data can be picked. Now, in case you are selling off mutual fund units, then you will be required to upload the CAMS or K FinTech capital gains statement. Now, if you are unsure where to get all these statements, in the capital gains segment, there is a guide available. There is a guide available which actually gives you instruction on how to download appropriate statement so that you can download the appropriate statement and move ahead with the filing. Right. Now, let's coming to the other income. Now, other income, again, there are a lot of other incomes that can be reported. Savings bank account interest, FD interest, interest on income tax refund, your dividend incomes from stocks and mutual funds. So any other income that is not covered under salary, capital gains, business, and house property income, that can be considered as income from other sources. Now, in case you are getting any VDA income, in case you are getting any winnings from lottery, etc., that needs to be reported under here in other income. Right now, after that, you will come to know about the agricultural income. Now, if your agricultural income is more than 5,000 rupees, you are supposed to file your income ITR 2 form. If it is not more than that, then ITR 1 is absolutely fine. Now, exempt income. There are a lot of exempt income that you can show. For example, interest earned on PPF. Now, interest earned on PPF is an exempted income which you can submit so that the details can be replicated. Now, after all these things, you can uh, move on to the tax filing section, wherein all the tax saving deductions, etc., are listed out. Right, tax saving section. Now, again, there is a possibility you may have not disclosed or not submitted the proof to your employer. In that case you will be able to include these type of items over here, right? So again, in the month of January, maybe the proof submission window closed, or at the beginning of the year you have chosen to go with the new tax regime. Therefore, it makes sense that none of the deductions and etc. are not considered while preparing your form 16, nor they have been submitted to the income tax portal. So those details will not be available. Therefore, if you have the receipts, and most definitely you do, in those cases, from fish out the receipts and you can claim those amount over here. Right, so input the amounts over here. If you have taken a medical insurance policy for yourself or your parents, dependent parents, those items can also be claimed over here. Now, there are a lot many other deductions that can be claimed under this particular thing. So ATC deduction, that actually covers your life insurance policies, your tax saving FDs, your ELSS, your Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, your SSC, NSC. Those details can be claimed under ATC pension plans. Now, if you have more deductions, for example, medical insurance, or if you have deposited some money into national pension scheme, in that case, you can put those details over here. Furthermore, if you have purchased an electric vehicle and taken a loan, which loan was disbursed till 31st of March 2022, in that case, definitely you will be able to claim the amounts, right? So claim the amount as deductions. Therefore, you will be simply able to claim the deduction. Now, after inputting all the details, you will be taken to the page wherein your taxable income is present. All right, your tax, it will be showing your tax and everything. Right. So, okay. So moving on, if you have some other incomes, Hello. Right. So, yes, so let's start again from tax deduction. So, if you have any tax deduction or any other incomes that is appearing in 26As, you should be able to claim it by uploading the 26As itself. Now, 26As actually contains all the incomes against which tax has been deducted and the incomes against it, right? So if you have 26As wherein all the details are captured, you can simply upload 26As, all the tax paid details will be captured over there. Not only that, if you have any other income, that will be replicated in income segment as well, right? So you may have some FD income against which tax has been deducted. So if you upload your 26As, all the details will be captured in the income segment as well as the tax segment, right? Now, after all these things, if you are required to pay a certain amount of taxes, it will be taking you to this particular page. Now, normally, if you go with the flow, it will take you to this page first, wherein it will show you the tax position. Now, as of now, there is no tax payable based on the data that has been inputted. However, if some tax payable is coming due to certain income or any of the things, in that case, you will require to be paying some taxes. Now, after paying the taxes, a challan is generated. Challan is going to be generated, right? Now, for tax payment, the challan is ITNS 280, and you can pay the challan in the income tax portal. Now, after paying the challan, there will be a certain details that will be generated, like BSR code of the challan, the challan number, date, etc., etc. So you need to put those details over here in self tax payment, right? Also, if you wish to change certain items, some basic criteria of the return, for example, your residential status, whether you are a director of a company, or you are holding any unlisted shares, or you are holding any foreign asset, right? So all those details will need to be shared over here, will need to be disclosed over here. Now, when I say foreign asset, I actually mean any shares of foreign entity. It can be RSUs or ESPPs or ESOPs. It can be a foreign bank account. It can be a foreign broker account, whatever it may be. Those details are required to be inputted over here, right? So you may have to go through the broker statement or certain other documents as well. So it's better you gather all these documents and start preparing your income tax return. Now, after all things are done, you will be taken to this particular page wherein it will show your ultimate tax position. If all goes well, you will be in a tax neutral position, or if it is a very if you are in a tax refund position, then nothing like it. But if everything has been submitted to your employer, everything has been accounted for, in that case, you would be coming to a tax neutral position, right? So after doing all these things, you can simply input, you can simply go ahead and towards the filing. Now there are a couple of clarification I would like to make. Number one, based on the input that you are providing, appropriate ITR form will be selected. Not only that, what is the most beneficial tax regime for you, that will also be selected, right? So we'll see in this scenario, there is a tax benefit if I'm going with the old tax regime. Therefore, the old tax regime got selected automatically. Right. Now, so we are at the end of our session. So if you have any question, please drop those questions. Thank you. All right. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box. Thank you. Hello. If you have any question, please drop them. Otherwise, we are calling it day, and we are going to end the webinar. Right. All right. So there is a question coming in. I am filing ITR 4 and have very little profit from shares. Should I have to include ITR 3? Okay, so yes, if you have some very little amount of profit coming in from shares, in that case, ITR 4 will not required to be filed. In this case, ITR 3 will be filed because you have some business income and opting for presumptive taxation scheme, as well as you are having some capital gains. In ITR 4, there is no scope for you to report capital gains, right? So you will be required to file ITR 3. However, you don't really have to fumble for the forms. If you are inputting the income details, the software will take care of selecting the appropriate forms. Right. If you have any other questions, do drop them. Right. So thank you all for joining with us. We are right now ending the session. So thank you for joining with us. Hopefully you have understood some of the filing process. Thank you.